Something strange is happening behind the scenes. Quietly, a growing number of U.S. corporations are shifting operations, talent, and capital north to Canada. It's not a headline-grabbing exodus. It's quiet, calculated, and happening faster than you think. At first glance, it might seem like just another tax move. But this goes deeper. We're talking about access to global talent, political insulation, clean energy, and long-term risk management. As economic turbulence rises in the U.S., companies are searching for safety valves. And for many, that safety valve is Canada. Today, we'll look at 10 major U.S. companies that are quietly building their presence up north, and what that means for the future of business in North America. Number 1. Microsoft. Microsoft isn't abandoning the U.S., but it's increasingly planting deep roots across the Canadian landscape. The tech giant has poured billions into Canadian cloud infrastructure, with major data center projects in Toronto, Quebec, and Vancouver. Why? Because Canada offers something the U.S. is struggling to maintain: predictable regulation, stronger data privacy laws, and access to global tech talent. In 2023, Microsoft committed $500 million to expand its cloud and AI capacity in Quebec alone. That's not a satellite office, that's core infrastructure. More importantly, Canada allows Microsoft to scale globally without facing the same political scrutiny it often gets at home. It's a smart risk hedge, one that may quietly define its North American strategy going forward. Number 2. Amazon. Amazon's footprint in Canada is more than warehouses and delivery hubs. Yes, it has expanded its logistics network, but the real story is what's happening behind the scenes. Canada offers cheaper real estate, generous provincial subsidies, and smoother immigration rules for tech hires. In Toronto and Ottawa, Amazon has opened tech hubs that now employ thousands of engineers and developers, many of whom were previously denied work visas in the U.S. Canada's Atlantic ports also offer a quiet strategic advantage, giving Amazon quicker access to European markets without relying solely on congested U.S. ports. And with rising union pressure in American fulfillment centers, Canada gives Amazon a more flexible environment to test robotics, delivery drones, and automation. It's not a cost-cutting move. It's a long-term insurance policy. Number 3. Salesforce. Salesforce has become one of the most aggressive U.S. tech companies expanding in Canada. And it's not just opening offices, it's recruiting at scale. Toronto and Vancouver have become major hubs for Salesforce engineering, marketing, and customer operations. Why Canada? Because it's easier to bring in global talent. While the U.S. tightens its visa policies, Canada's global talent stream makes it possible to hire international professionals in as little as 2 weeks. Salesforce is taken full advantage. Canada also offers robust R&D tax credits, making it cheaper to develop and deploy new features. Number 4. Tesla, or more accurately, Tesla's supply chain. While Tesla's gigafactories remain firmly rooted in the US and Germany, its ecosystem of suppliers is increasingly drifting north. In Ontario alone, dozens of companies that manufacture EV batteries, charging components, and sensor systems are relocating to take advantage of Canada's booming clean energy economy. Why? Because Canada has what Tesla wants: hydroelectric power, lithium reserves, and a government that's aggressively funding green tech. For example, the Canadian government committed over $13 billion to lure a Volkswagen battery plant to Ontario. And Tesla suppliers are following suit. Even if Tesla doesn't move its factories, the critical pieces that feed its vehicles are being produced just across the border. That's not a coincidence. That's strategic positioning in the clean energy race. Number 5. Intel. As tensions rise between the US and China over semiconductor dominance, Intel is playing a long game, and Canada is part of the strategy. Intel has expanded research partnerships with top Canadian universities like the University of Toronto and the University of Waterloo, both known for cutting-edge AI and chip design. Why does that matter? Because Canada gives Intel a stable, allied base for high-tech R&D, with fewer political risks and more international research freedom. In 2024, Intel quietly increased its investment in its Montreal AI lab, signaling a deeper shift into Canadian territory. As the US pours billions into reshoring chips, Intel is making sure it has a second, secure base of operations in a friendly country. It's less about geography and more about geopolitical insurance. Number 6. Uber and Lyft. In the US, ride-sharing companies face growing pressure from stricter labor laws, lawsuits, and state-level regulations. But just north of the border, the situation is different. Canada is quietly becoming a sandbox for Uber and Lyft to test new ideas. Electric fleets, food and grocery delivery, even early-stage autonomous vehicle pilots. In provinces like British Columbia and Ontario, local governments are more open to innovation-friendly regulation. And because of Canada's cleaner energy mix, both companies are experimenting with sustainability initiatives that would be harder to scale in the US. Number 7 isn't just one company, it's a cluster. Meta, Google, GE Renewable Energy, and Shopify are all building major operations in Canada for different but connected reasons. Meta is scaling its AI research lab in Montreal, tapping into Canada's top-tier academic network. Google has chosen Toronto as one of its most important global campuses, not just for search and ads, but for AI, cloud, and urban infrastructure experiments. GE Renewable Energy has shifted parts of its wind and hydro production to Quebec, taking advantage of local clean tech incentives. And then there's Shopify, born in Canada, but now hiring displaced US engineers and designers through its fully remote model. Together, they represent a shift in where innovation lives and where it's heading. Not just Silicon Valley, but Silicon North. So what does it all mean? This isn't an exodus. These companies aren't fleeing America, but they are hedging. Canada is becoming a business continuity plan, a second home base, a geopolitical insurance policy. And if this trend continues, the balance of corporate power in North America may quietly shift. Not with fireworks, but with infrastructure, with hiring, with capital, and with strategy. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, subscribe to Nomad Bulletin, your channel for global business trends, geopolitical shifts, and stories that don't make the headlines. Hit the bell icon to stay updated. And let us know in the comments. Which of these companies surprised you the most? Until next time, stay curious.